Hello, my name is Harris Merrill, and I'm studying biology at the University of Florida. I'm going to be explaining the ethical problems surrounding stem cell research and how a utilitarian versus a Kantian ethicist would decide if it is just. Stem cell usage requires an embryo be disassembled so that only 30 stem cells can be removed, making it no longer possible for the embryo to grow into a human. These stem cells are then used in tons of procedures, like being transplanted routinely to treat a variety of blood and bone marrow diseases, blood cancers, and immune disorders. More recently, stem cells from the bloodstream, called peripheral blood stem cells and umbilical cord stem cells, have been used to treat some of the same blood-based diseases. They could also be used to treat diseases like Alzheimer's and could solve diabetes and Parkinson's disease. Now, this argument may seem even more insane than abortion, because in this case it's not even a fetus yet, but in this case we have to look to the ends where people are definitely benefited by these stem cells. Another twist to the argument is that once we understand embryo stem cells well enough, we can make stem cells in the lab without ruining any embryos in the future. But, of course, to do this, we have to end a bunch of embryos' lives in the short term. This could also turn into a discussion of cloning and other stem cell related issues, but I'm going to keep it aimed towards the ethics of destroying embryos for the scientific benefit of stem cells only. My view on the ethics of stem cell harvesting has changed since we discussed ethics and morality in class. Beforehand, I would think to myself, so what if we were killing some little embryo? It's not even a human, and we're helping more people, and this is the way a utilitarian would think. But now, I understand the Kantian viewpoint, and the situation is not as easy for me, especially in relation to my Christian beliefs. A utilitarian viewpoint would just say we are ruining a little embryo that can't feel any pain to create stem cells that can maybe save a life, or help create stem cells that can be made without killing any embryos and can save tons of lives. A Kantian ethicist would say the ends do not justify the means, and it is not okay to end a future life for only 30 stem cells that at this level of understanding would probably do close to no benefit for the world. At its most basic form to non-philosophers who just weigh pros and cons, it will turn into a very similar argument to abortion, where the people opposed say, you are killing a human, and the people in favor would say, it's not a human yet. The problem is that they oppose it for the exact same reason as abortion. If they say stem cell research is okay, pro-life people are afraid of a slippery slope where all abortion becomes legal. Even for philosophers, the distinction of if the embryo is a human is important. If the embryo is not a person, then the Kantian may actually be in support of stem cell research, as the means would no longer be bad, as no humans are being killed, and all they're doing is harvesting stem cells in a good faith to try to help people. The positive ends and positive means would create the Kantian support. Of course, in the modern day, scientists do everything simply for money, so Kant wouldn't support any modern day scientific ventures, but I'm going to skip past that. According to one view, the cells that compromise the early embryo are just a bundle of homogeneous cells that exist in the same membrane but do not form a human organism because the cells do not function in a coordinated way. The response is that there is some intercellular coordination in the zygote, and it's revealed by the fact that the development of the early embryo requires that some cells become part of the outer cell mass and some become part of the inner cell mass. Without some coordination between the cells, there would be nothing to prevent the cells from turning randomly into the same thing, meaning that the cells do communicate as one and are definitely human cells due to this coordination, and they are not similar random stem cells that exist in any animal fetus. At the end of the day, I still am swayed towards the utilitarian viewpoint just because the embryos are made in a lab specifically for stem cells, and although it can be scientifically argued that it is the murder of a human, it is not any worse than we do to so many animals. In fact, it is better because it is only 5 days after consummation and no pain can be felt, and it is speciesist by definition to say this is worse than what we do to tons of animals every day. A Kantian would say it is not okay to kill a potential human no matter the consequences, and although I tend to agree with this, it will save more humans in the long run once we understand stem cells